and welcome back to Stronger Every Day. It's so good to be back with you all. I hope everyone's having a good day. My name's Chrissy, and today we're going to talk about living with depression and anxiety and what that feels like, what happens. I always use myself as an example, so let's just kind of jump right in. So today is, when I'm filming this, is June. It's in June, and the past 3 months have been hard. They've been very difficult. We've had a lot of people in our lives that we love and we care for, family and friends, and some of our fur babies who have been sick and have things that are hard and difficult, and it's not been the easiest time. The last 3 months in particular, amongst all of that, we've had Gordy, who is our little chihuahua, and he is had a skin cancer, and so he is at the age with his heart condition and everything else that's going on with him that he couldn't have surgery to have it removed. He wouldn't survive the operation, and we lost Gordy on Wednesday. That's been very hard to deal with. We're animal people. We don't have two-legged kids. We have four-legged kids, and it's been very difficult. He was deaf and blind, and so he required a little bit more of my attention than the others. Mainly just, you know, when I say let's go out potty, I had to help him find his way outside, and then where his food was, going to bed, little things like that. Not that he needed so much more of my time, but just helping him maneuver some. And so it's been very difficult. We've had a lot going on here on our home. We I don't know if we've talked about this on this channel, but we have 7 75-foot long garden beds that we are growing things in. We added to our goats, so now we're up to 5 goats. So moving them daily, caring for them, changing water, all of that. We have 15 chickens coming the middle of June, and so we have a lot going on, and then you add all of the other things in. It's been difficult. Here's a couple ways that you can look at it. So none of it has been good, right? Obviously getting more goats, we chose to do that. That's been good. Planting the garden, we chose to do that. That's been good. Getting the chickens, same thing, we chose that. That's been good. The rest of it has been kind of out of our hands, and so I can choose to look at it as, this isn't fair, this is hard, I don't like what I'm having to go through. Or I can choose to look at God and Gordy, right? They gave me 3 months. They gave me 3 months to know that his time was getting closer. And before I'd even talked to our vet, our vet staff is just amazing. Before I'd even talked with them, I already knew. God and Gordy had already told me that this is what is going to get him. Not the heart murmur, not everything that's been going on with him, this. And so they were preparing me in so many loving, touching ways to let Gordy go. And even there towards the end, we usually would feed Gordy, Lily, and Colt kind of in the dining room area. We don't have a table, but just in that area. And they had their own little bowls, and we would feed them there, and Gordy quit eating in there. And I would hand feed him. So there wasn't a third bowl. And if you're not an animal person, you don't get it, but when you lose one, it's all the reminders. It's the same as for two-legged people, right? When you lose someone you love or you care about, it's all the things that are left behind that hurt when you're trying to grieve. And so the changing, all the things that are changing in our life, some for good, some are not. It's a struggle for me dealing with mental illness. Change is hard for me, whether it's good change or bad change. I can tell you that I so enjoy getting out in the garden every day and just weeding it, watering it, watching it grow. I have 4 tomatoes growing on the vine out there. I didn't think I would have one single thing of anything growing. If you have an opportunity, I've never been into gardening. It's not something I've ever thought about until the past probably year. and I was ready to go this year with a garden. If you have a patio that you can put something on, I would encourage you, even if it's just one thing, like if you love tomatoes, or if you love potatoes, or if you love strawberries or cucumbers, zucchinis, whatever that is, if there's one thing that you can grow, I would give it a shot just to see. It has made a huge difference in just, I think it's twofold. It's something that I know I need to do every day, so it's a task, but it's not a chore for me. It's something that gets me outside. It gets me sweaty because you're de-weeding and it's 75 foot long bed, so there's just a lot. So the past 3 months have been hard. I've been kind of up and down. One thing I have noticed is that over the past almost 3 weeks, I have not studied much at all. I haven't really listened to God's word much at all. I haven't studied much at all. The few times I have tried to listen to it, it's almost like there's a block there, and I can't comprehend it. And when I can't comprehend something, I don't have an interest in it, and I will just turn it off. I think obviously that's contributed to my mind, my mental space just kind of deteriorating. Also, I just haven't felt like preparing meals, and I haven't wanted to leave the house the past month, because unless Gordy could go with me and unless I felt he was able to go. We did take him to Lowe's with us one day, but because I didn't want him to die alone, so I did not want to leave the house without him. So I haven't been cooking. I've had more fast food the past 3 weeks than I've had in the past 9 months. Not saying that that's all we've eaten, but probably 2 or 3 times a week we've eaten fast food. We've so gotten away from that, and I just can contribute all of these things to the deterioration of my kind of my mental space. And that's okay, friends. It is okay. When you struggle with depression and anxiety, mental illness, whatever your particular mental illness is, you're gonna have good periods and you're gonna have hard periods. Don't beat yourself up because you're not perfect. No one is. No one that has depression, that has anxiety, has schizophrenia, that has PTSD, that has whatever the plethora of illnesses are, none of those people are perfect, and none of the people that don't have mental illness are perfect. You don't have to beat yourself up because you have a bad day. What I've tried hard, even through this time, to focus on is stay away from going down the negative, right? So it sucks, and there's no other way to say it, that we lost Gordy. He was a rescue. We rescued him 3 years ago as foster parents. We were going to foster through an organization called ARF. If you've never heard of them, check it out. It's AARF. I'll leave a link in the description below. It's in the Middle Tennessee area, but they do foster, or they do adopt out throughout the United States. We were going to be his hospice foster. And then after about a week, I said, we're going to be his forever home. We're not going to, we're just going to go ahead and adopt him and call him ours. And so he wasn't expected to make it to 3 weeks, and almost 3 years later. And so it sucks that we lost him. It sucks that we didn't get to spend a lot of time with him. We only got 3 years with him, and it's hard. I took him to the garden with me every day. It's just, it's a struggle, right? I'm not going to beat myself up because I've had bad days. I'm not going to beat myself up because I am struggling to concentrate. That is a sign of depression and anxiety. It is something that happens when you have a mental illness. You struggle, your concentration level, your comprehension level struggles. And I note it to myself, and then I move forward. So today, I still don't feel that great. I'm still struggling with things. We've got a lot going on, and that adds more struggle into it. But I woke up today, I gave myself a little grace. Our neighbor's cutting hay, and I love the way the field looks when he cuts hay, because he cuts his and ours. But that throws my allergies into a spin. So I thought, you know what, I'm not even going to worry about going outside today. We watered yesterday. Everything will be fine. I gave myself a little grace, stayed inside, just relaxed my mind, turned everything off, and just relaxed and thought about good, positive things. And I feel a little bit better. Got dressed, came on here to talk with you guys. I feel like, I even said this to my husband, I feel like I'm falling back. I'm falling backwards, and I don't like it, because when you've been in that spot and you've been on a good stretch for going on 10 months and you start to feel yourself falling back, you start to panic because you don't want to go back there. But then on top of that, it's kind of all those things in your head of, what are you doing wrong? What, you know, what have you slacked off on? What's been the difference? And the difference is, there's been a lot of stress this past 3 months. There's been at least 9 people, close friends and or family, that have been struggling with health issues. That's hard, because your heart hurts for them, and you're trying to do anything and everything you can to make their life easier, to help them in any way that you can. And then with Gordy, and then with just all the new changes, even though we welcome them and we want them, it's change, and it's something that you're having to kind of bob and flow and learn around. So I told him I feel like I'm back, like I'm sliding back, and I don't want that. I want to keep moving forward, even if it's just an inch a day. And he kind of brought up a good point. He said, you can't judge yourself and say that, well, now that I'm trying to help others, I can never stumble and I can never have a bad moment, because that's not true. I can say that I can look back and say, my eating habits have slipped, my quality time with God has slipped, and that's probably added onto the stressors that have been happening, why I'm struggling right now. It's something I can see and look at. But if you allow yourself to keep going down and down and down, you get to that place, and we've been there, where everything's wrong and everything hurts and everything's miserable and nothing helps and no one helps, and you're in that pit, and it takes a hard, long time to get out of it. So I haven't gotten there yet, which I'm pretty daggum proud of. I'm pretty proud that I've been able to maintain and stay up higher than I have ever before in the past, even though I've still had bad days. Friends, bad days are okay. If you want to take, I don't know what your life looks like, what your day looks like, what your schedule looks like. If you want to take half a day off, take half a day off. Do something that makes you happy. If that's sit in silence, do it. There's a lot of times I go out my back porch and I'll just sit down and stare. Now, we've got woodlawn and acres back there, so it's, to me, that's very pretty. I like just going out there, listening to the birds. I can see the goats in the side yard. If I bring the dogs out with me, they're obviously in the yard playing. Sometimes there's deer out there, there are bunnies, there's just different things. And so it's relaxing to me. Whatever that looks like to you. Maybe it's watching a movie on whatever platform you watch movies on, or maybe it's reading a good book, or listening to fun music, or maybe it's lighting a candle and taking a bath, or maybe it's just taking 5 minutes to yourself in the shower, right? And just zoning out for that 5 minutes. Whatever you need to do, just keep moving forward. And I'm not preaching to the choir, I'm telling myself this, right? Is that easy? No, it is not. And there's nothing wrong with it not being easy, right? This battle, why do I have it? I don't know. I did not know until God said, I want you to start a channel and show people what it's like. Well, I have to show you the good and the bad, because it's not always rainbows and sunshine over here. Even though I'm doing better than I have ever in this 29-year journey, it's not always rainbows and sunshine. There's bad days. There's bad thoughts. I had bad thoughts last night. And I had to stop and keep putting positive thoughts in my mind. And that fight gets tiring after a while. Thankfully, I fell asleep because I would put a good thought, the devil would put a bad. I would put a good thought, the devil would put a bad. I mean, we did this for an hour last night, and finally, thank you, I fell asleep. And this morning, same thing. I've had to put good thoughts in my head, and trust me, I know it gets tiring. and you're like, I'm tired of fighting. I cannot tell you how many times I've said that. I cannot tell you how many times those words have kind of come out of my mouth. I'm tired of fighting. I can't do it anymore. I've described it in the fact that, like, if you're in a boxing ring, right? If you're in a boxing match, it's whatever, 3 to 5 minutes and 15 rounds or whatever. Somebody's going to throw in the towel if you're getting beat too bad, right? They're going to throw in the towel and call the fight. But in depression and anxiety and mental illness, no one throws in the towel. You just keep getting pounded and pounded, and at some point you're just laying there looking up, but nobody is helping. That's what depression and anxiety feels like to me. Like, at some point you're just like, forget it, and you finally instead of, you know, you're at that point where you're just holding your head up, you just kind of finally let your head go back because you're tired of the fight. And I have been there, I would venture to say 100+ times in my life, probably more than that, where I just think, I'm done, I'm tired. I was talking to a friend on Instagram, and we'll get into this in another video, about some of the symptoms of depression and anxiety, and kind of where I think it veers off to that. That'll be in a separate video. But depression and anxiety throw a lot at you, and it's okay to say, I'm done for today. I'm tired. I've had enough. I've met my limit. I'm done. There's nothing wrong with that. It's okay to say that. Your day doesn't have to look perfect. Trust me, no one's day is perfect. I don't care how they want to appear on the outside. No one has perfect days all day, every day, 365, 24/7. No one does. You know, it's hard for me to come on here on a video like this and not be as uplifting as I can be, because I know that's what we need to see. We need to see an example of someone who has fought for it and fought through it and continuing through it, and who is improving every day, and see that positive example. And I am going to be that, but that doesn't mean I don't have days that suck. And some people are offended with that word. I don't know of a better word for it. When you have days, nights like last night, where you're thinking, I'm done. Like, just don't let me wake up in the morning. I've had enough, right? The thing is, we get that thought, and pure and simple, the only person who put it there is the devil, right? Because you're touching people and you're making a difference in their lives, no matter what. I've talked about it before. No matter how little the gesture is, maybe it's holding a door for somebody, maybe it's buying somebody a cup of coffee, or maybe it's giving someone a meal, or maybe it's a simple smile for a customer service. Stop. So again, our neighbor's doing the hay, so the dogs are seeing him ride on the tractor, so they're barking. But there's so many different things that you can do, little things. Maybe it's somebody that's been in customer service all day, and they actually have one customer who's polite and smiles, and that's you. Things that you do matter. Don't let the devil tell you what's going on in your life is not important, because it is. There's been many a times where, for whatever reason, some stranger I don't know held the door open for me, and I thought, he saw me. A little thing, he saw me. I was seen. Somebody saw me. They thought I was important enough to hold a door. Or maybe it was somebody that said, and I mean, you know, my hair looks like this all the time, pretty much. Or it's in a ponytail, or it's in a bun throughout my life. It's usually been in a ponytail, a bun, or this. I love your hair today. And I mean, even though I think it's just kind of like, somebody made an attempt to compliment me, you know. Or when I used to get my nails done, I love your nails today. Little things like that. Friends, you are important. If you have bad days, flow with them. You know better days are coming. I like to end every video this way, and I hope that you feel this on the good days and the bad ones. God loves you. I love you. Your family loves you. Your friends love you, and we need you here. We'll see you in the next one, friends. Bye.